Elon Musk uses SpaceX Starlink to get around countrywide Twitter ban. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't have tea today, but I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, as we hang out. Talking about tech, photo, video. Today is a tech day. I'm going to talk a little bit about Elon Musk and how he took over Twitter, finally, made his purchase. And I think it's interesting because there are some things that I spoke about in a previous video, asking the question, could Elon Musk actually create an alternative internet, let's say? And I talked about that a little bit, and I posed that question. There was a lot of response to it. Well, something that Elon has done here gives the impression that maybe he's not making another internet, but he's using his SpaceX Starlink to be able to provide what he wishes to provide, for example, Twitter, to countries that are currently banning Twitter. So I think this is very interesting. And I was reading through an article over on The Verge, and I want to quote some of it for you and give you an idea of what's going on. And then I want to give you my thoughts, as I always do, my commentary. And then more importantly, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this? So it starts out by less than 24 hours after completing his $44 billion acquisition of Twitter, Elon Musk decides to change its homepage. According to internal reports, Elon Musk immediately changed the way Twitter.com's homepage functioned for visitors that were not signed in. They also indicated that this type of change would have taken weeks or even longer to accomplish this under previous management. As a former executive said, quote, "That's definitely one way to make it clear you're in charge now." And that's absolutely the case. I love the video of Elon coming and he's walking into the building with the kitchen sink.
It's like letting this and what was it then? You just can't help it. That's okay.
I deactivated my account and deleted the app. That's what I think of it. Elon Musk.
No matter what side of the fence you sit on, you got to admit that was pretty ballsy, all right? But that's how he is anyways. I love it. Remember, the very first day Elon Musk fired the CEO and countless other executives that were kind of entrenched in that culture of Twitter where Elon Musk felt that it was just counter free speech. So anyone that was entrenched in that culture was basically gone the very first day. And that was it. Some left peacefully and other ones just left screaming and crying like kids, but to each his own. So right from the beginning, Elon Musk brought a bunch of his inner circle, right? Started out with his personal attorney. His personal attorney is now the de facto Twitter general counsel. Andrew Musk, who was in charge or part of his brain interface division, Neuralink. You also have the COO of the Boring Company who's there, and many others that were just there to rebuild the company, basically from the ground up. And what I find is fascinating, and this is just telling on how he is, he's told all of the engineers, the coders, right? All of the engineers to show their code for the last 30 to 60 days for review. That makes sense, right? What have you done for this company in the last 30 to 60 days? I want to see your code. What does it look like? What have you done? I think there's going to be a lot of people that end up on the street after that review. Also, what he said is he's going to review all of the managers in charge of those engineers. And as he says, to make sure that they can work at the speed and efficiency that he demands. And one of his major goals is to weed out engineer managers that don't code regularly. Think about that. Think about that. He tweeted this: managers in software must write great software, or it's like being a cavalry captain who can't ride a horse. I mean, just common frickin' sense, right? Common sense. And I think that kind of holds true to the phrase that if you can't do it, teach it. And that's one of the problems with today's colleges, their universities. A lot of the teachers and professors in these universities are has-beens. I saw it in many of the colleges that I attended 3, especially in the creative colleges where there's a lot of, as I call them, has-beens that used to do X, Y, and Z 30 years ago, and now they're teaching the new up-and-coming students, and they don't even know the current technology. They don't know what's hip, what's trending, what is new, what's fresh. And that's very important, and that even holds true with engineering or coding. Coding of yesterday is not coding of today. Coding of today is a hell of a lot more efficient than it used to be yesterday. So I think there's going to be a lot of changes that happen. Now, keep in mind, as stated by The Verge in their article, they said changing Twitter's homepage is an example of how Musk, less than 3 days into his reign as Chief Twit, I love that, Chief Twit, has started to swiftly change the company from the inside out. Even as he is preparing to lay off a significant portion of employees in the coming days, he has fast-tracked changes to Twitter itself, such as ordering that its paid subscription feature, which used to be called Super Follow, be now renamed to subscriptions as a rush update to Twitter's mobile app. He also has discussed using Starlink, his satellite-based internet service at SpaceX, to make Twitter available in countries where it is currently hard to access. For example, you got China, Iran, North Korea, Russia, so on and so forth, that ban Twitter. He's going to make it available through SpaceX Starlink. Now remember, I did that op-ed piece just a couple of days ago, and I asked the question, could Elon Musk create an alternative web, an alternative internet, a non-terrestrial internet or web, let's call it, a web or internet that sits at about 550 kilometers in the air and not on the planet? Is this a possibility where all data is transacted satellite to satellite at the speed of light through lasers? Pretty interesting. Maybe some of these satellites are NOCs or network operations centers, just like you would have here on the ground, or point of presence or ground stations or whatever you want to call them. I call them NOCs or network operations centers. There could be bigger satellites that just do that, and they control all of the rest. Is that a possibility? Or maybe instead of an alternative web or an alternative internet, let's call it, maybe it's an alternative browser. Maybe like a Tor browser instead of Google. Something that you would use in the dark web to access web pages that you can't find on the regular internet. Maybe it's something like that instead, where you can still get the regular web, but now also on the FreeWeb, Elon Musk's web, let's say, and be able to search through it accordingly and not have the companies like Alphabet censor exactly what the search results are. There is many times I search for something and I know that this is the answer to it, and they'll be not found anywhere. I cannot find any information on it. Why? Because that answer is censored. That's it. That's just as simple as it's going to get. Maybe it is something like that. Maybe it isn't a whole new internet. Maybe it's just simply a browser. Something to think about, right? Just an idea, I guess, a possibility. As we see, Elon is already saying, listen, we're going to push Twitter into countries that ban it. And we're going to do it through SpaceX Starlink. So his idea of this free speech and getting data to the masses is something that he's really looking to push towards. And I think it's fascinating. I do. It doesn't really, like I said, matter which side of the fence you are on. I think that is good to have like an open forum, right? Where you could decide what you see. If you're on some type of Tor network or on the dark web, well, don't go to a website that is clearly something nefarious, right? You have the freedom to do what you want. If you want to go to a site that has nastiness on it, well, go there. I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but you have that choice to do it or not. And I think choice and leaving the choice up to the people is very important. It's like putting together an encyclopedia, right, of knowledge. And instead of the people that build the encyclopedia, that put it together and write the encyclopedia, to edit out and take out all of the stuff that they don't want you to see, they just put everything in it. And then it's up to you to go to the table of contents and search for the stuff that you want. Of course, there's going to have to be some type of moderation here, but I think the moderation has been leaning in such a direction that is very hard to believe anything that you see, hear, or read these days. I think it's worse than the way it used to be. But that's just my personal opinion. So my question to you is, what do you think about this takeover? What do you think about Twitter? Where do you think Twitter will go from here under the rule of Elon Musk? Also, we know that Twitter is no longer a publicly held company. It is private now. And it's either Elon's way or the highway. We do not have a board of directors to decide on anything. Let's just say it all goes through the chief twit, as he calls himself. Is that a good thing? Also, do you think that Elon should create like a Tor-esque, let's say, type of search tool that is maybe an alternative to Google? Or simply create an alternative internet as a whole. Once again, a non-terrestrial internet. What do you think about this? I just think that it's fascinating what has been going on in tech as of late. There's just been so many things that have been just flipped literally on their heads lately. I think it's a positive thing. I think change is very positive. And I think looking at answers to questions in a different light or in a different manner is very, very important. All too often we see things with a set of blinders on, and that is it. Sometimes you need to take the blinders off and maybe look at the problem instead of straight on. Maybe flip yourself upside down and look at this problem upside down. Look at it a little bit differently. So I think that's what's going to be happening here going forward. What do you think? So if you've liked this video, even in the least, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Also, if you want more Starlink content, I have a Starlink playlist. That is awesome. There's a ton of helpful tips, tricks, how-tos, what to buy, what not to buy, why to buy it, or why not to buy it. Even more important. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so, and then click this little button over here so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all, and happy Halloween.